Hi everyone, Matt Mikolajczyk here. I'm the Director of Reality Capture at GPRS and happy to be with you today to do a Feature Friday. So we're kicking off a new series where we're going to be showing you some different features in SiteMap for any user that uses the platform. And thanks for joining me today. I am here today with my colleague, Blake Alberts. He is the Market Segment Leader for Facilities Group at GPRS, and he'll be helping with any kind of questions that come into the chat. So I'm going to start sharing my screen and we're just going to walk through a short presentation with you. Meant to be a quick, just a little snippet of what you can do in SiteMap. And if there's any questions, we're hoping to get those at the end, but feel free to type those into the chat and we'll kind of walk through that a little bit with you before we jump into the actual feature set that we're going to cover today. All right, so today we're going to cover how to export a job in SiteMap. So there are a number of features in SiteMap that you can do, but this is just to cover this one little feature set to just give you an idea of what you can specifically do when it comes to exporting your information from SiteMap and getting it into another platform. So it's a 15-minute. We're going to do a step-by-step process breakdown and tutorial. We're going to go through a small use case example, and then we're going to open it up to some Q&A. So before we begin, there are some ways that you can ask questions in the GoToMeeting. We're going to open it up for everyone's mic at the near the end. So if you have questions near the end, we can open that up for you all to ask questions. But in the meantime, if you have questions you want to ask during the tutorial, before the Q&A, you can always type it into the chat, and Blake will be looking at those as we go. And hopefully we can answer all your questions today. If not, we will get back with you on the next one to let you know any answers to questions we couldn't quite get to if we do happen to go over on time. But before we begin, we're going to have a first question for you all, and that's going to open up as an option for you to answer. But how often do you use SiteMap? Is it regularly on a daily or weekly type cadence, or only when you need a reference, or type C as you have not used the platform yet? So if you would go through and answer those questions. I'm not sure how much time we give you to do that, but go ahead and put your answer in on that if you would. Okay, I'll go on to the next question. Second question, do you find SiteMap easy to use? So for those users that have logged in and used it, just a simple yes, no, or unsure. You can list unsure if you haven't gotten into the platform. And appreciate your feedback on that. Next question, this is kind of an open format. What is one thing you would like SiteMap to do for you? So this is more of a question for future development, trying to get feedback from clients. You know, what is something that SiteMap maybe does now and maybe you're not aware of, or something in the future that you would like it to do for you, or have a feature set in it that would help you out with your day-to-day job. Okay, great. So how do you export a job from SiteMap? There's a simple 4-step process to walk through, and it'll just take a few minutes here. But before you start, you need to decide if you would like to export a full view or just a subset section of the data. Both are really simple, but there is 2 different ways to do things. One is more of a full site or a full area, just based on what's in your viewer. Another one, you can select a specific area, for instance, a parking lot that you want to get all the information just within that parking lot or just around a specific building to export it and bring it into the system. So here I've logged into SiteMap, and I'm actually going to go over, and you're going to learn something more than just how to export, but how to get to your location. There's a Find My Location button over here to the right. I'm going to go ahead and click that. It's going to fly me into our headquarters here in Maumee, Ohio, and I can see the data that we've collected around our campus. There's a couple extra things in here that you won't see on your normal login, but are available with a professional account, as far as bringing in drone work, bringing in plan sheets, but we won't go over that today because this is not part of the session. But I'm gonna just show you how to export data from this specific area. And maybe I'll turn off our imported data just to make it a little bit less distracting. So say this is a typical job. We've come out, we've located all the utilities on site, and I just want to get this information out of the platform and into CAD. So I can go in and go to export over on the left. I can choose my file type. In this case, if I want to bring it into CAD, there's a couple ways to do it. I can use a shapefile or I can use a DXF. In this case, let's just do a DXF as a test. And I'm just going to call it test export. And you can see here I can either export my view, and I'll show you how to do that. Just simply click the button and it's processing. And when it's done, you can download it. And that's it. It's that simple. The other method I'm going to show you is to export based on drawing selection. So I'll do the same thing, but maybe this time I'm going to do a KML file. So this will be a file that you can use in Google Earth. I'll just call it test file KML just to separate a little bit. And in this case, I'm going to actually draw a selection. So in here, I'm going to, we're planning to do some work just hypothetically on this parking lot on this side of the building. So I don't really need a lot of other information except what's happening over here. So I'm just going to draw my pattern, click done, and I'm going to export selection now. So that's going to just export whatever I had highlighted. So as you can see here, that first export is complete. I can just simply go ahead and click download, and that'll show up as a zip file in your DXF. And the KML is still processing. Once that's done, I'll do the same thing. I can go ahead and click download, and that file will be ready to view as well. Any questions that have come into the chat, Blake?
Yeah, the first question that came in to the chat, Matt, was does SiteMap offer application integrations with Esri or other GIS systems?
That's a great question. So we typically do not have a direct integration through, say, an API or something like that. But through this export process, you can export data that we've collected as a shapefile or a GeoJSON or other format, so that you can bring that into your native platform, fairly easily. So that's how we integrate with those systems. Now, if you also have data in one of those platforms, you want to get into SiteMap, we do have that offering available through a professional account. And same thing, we would just export the data from that native platform and import it into SiteMap. And we can do that in a variety of different ways for raster and vector type files both.
Great. And the next question that we had in the chat just popped in, Matt, and I can take this one and feel free to add to it. Is there a difference between exporting a single job versus batch exporting multiple jobs? In terms of exporting any job in SiteMap, there isn't necessarily a difference besides the distinction of what you're requesting to do. What we do in SiteMap, and every time we do a project, it has a project boundary, and we're able to hone in on that particular project, and you can export that. But what's really nice about SiteMap is those jobs can be layered in and out. So we can actually customize what you're looking to export depending on what that need is. Now, those features come from project, team, and pro type of accounts. So we would need to be able to have that for the layered aspect versus the multiple jobs in the one particular job. But for our personal users, you'd be able to export that single job very easily.
Great. Any other questions there, Blake?
As of right now, no, there's only the two. Oh,
Okay.
I see one that actually just came up, Matt. There's one here at the very top when we just got kicked off. It says, can exported jobs be re-imported or shared with external contractors or clients easily?
Yeah, so anything that you export from SiteMap, it'll just be a file that you download, and you can just attach that and send through an email if it's small enough, or you can send it via some other FTP type method. We do also have the ability to share jobs to another user in the platform. That's included with SiteMap, but I think that'll be another session that we cover how to share a job manually from the owner of that job to an external user. Obviously, there are ways to do that through subscriptions as well, so that would make it automatic so that you could share it for your whole team. And if you would like to know more about that or have a live demo to go through things more in depth, I did have Blake's information listed here on this slide. So please reach out to him, and he will get that set up for you and your team. And we will be happy to go through any kind of additional questions you have, additional features, more in depth. But otherwise, we'll cover another Feature Friday to show a number of different things you can do with the platform. This is just the first one that we've done. And yeah, happy to open up to one more question if we have it. But other than that, I do appreciate your time while you're able to join us all today.
There's
Any other questions, Blake?
Yeah, there's one last question here, Matt, that just popped in. Is there a way to include annotations or notes in the export for team collaboration?
Yeah, so right now the export would just include anything that GPRS has collected on site. I don't think right now there's a feature set to add your own note in the platform, but if you do have a file or information that you want to bring in to collaborate using SiteMap, that would be part of our pro account in order to, you send us a DWG file or KMZ file or some other georeference document, could be a plan sheet as well with notes on it that we would import and overlay that as part of your pro account is how we would handle that currently.
I think that was the last question though, Matt. I think there's going to be nothing left in the chat for us.
Okay, great. Well, then that's perfect timing. We're right at our 15-minute mark. Thanks for your time on this short little demonstration for you today. Looking forward to the next one. And if there's any way that we can help you in the meantime, please reach out to Blake, and we'll be happy to set up a future call with you.
Thanks, everyone.
All right. Thank you. Have a good day.